Mushy peeps, it's Christopher London and welcome to the first ever Around the Room. Yes, this is my little show that I wanted to do with the guys around the room, giving our opinions on certain topics that I bring up. We have Zach, Jesse, and Jeff. Today, boys, basically, we're gonna just talk about some things, and each time you impress me with whatever your opinion is or anything for the people, I'm gonna give you points. If you hear this, you're getting points. Whoever has the most points after today's full discussion is the winner. Now, you guys comment down below if you think I was correct with this scoring system or who you thought had the best takes in the comments, Zach, Jesse, or Jeff. First one, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He made some interesting comments about the Bucks not too long ago, saying that basically if his team's not on the same page, he's gonna leave. Thoughts, Zach?
Whoa! Before we start, I gotta give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. My favorite is Pick'em. What you're gonna do is go to the Pick'em tab on Underdog Fantasy website or app, pick whether your players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. Claim your mystery Pick'em special plus up to $100 deposit match. All you need to do is sign up on Underdog with my code LSK, make a deposit, and head to the lobby to find out which player special you got. Now, I got Patrick Mahomes for 0.5 total yards, so you know I'm gonna go higher. And then I like my boy Chase. I think he's gonna get a TD. So that's my pick'em for this week one. Let me know what you guys get. Tail responsibly. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video.
I mean, I think that's every superstar on their team. You know, you're the main person, the main character, and you want everybody else on the team to buy into what you're saying and what you believe in. And I mean, I don't blame them. You don't want to be stuck somewhere where they're not going to surround you with the people that have the same ideals as you. I don't blame him for saying he's going to leave, honestly.
Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Giannis for what he said at all. I think that when you're on his level and you're trying to have an all-time career, you need to win a championship. You need to win championships, and the Bucks, they never make any crazy trades. I feel like they don't really do off-season moves. They really just have built up. And I don't think any of the rookies looking that promising, so I think he's gonna leave after like a year.
Jeff?
Yeah, I think majority of superstars have this feeling, but I do respect Giannis that he expresses it and is direct. And so instead of bottling it in and taking it out on his teammates, he's just expressing it. So when he does get mad during the season, he has all reasons because he's already said it. Other thing too, I think is nice is he's thinking a lot ahead. He's only 10 years on the Bucks right now, but like he wants to be good when he's year 15, year 16, year 17. It's not even the next couple of years. It's more of like down the line, and he could look back at his career and really be like, I'm satisfied with what I built rather than regret.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Giannis, we all know he's a superstar, basically the face of the NBA, I like to say. And I don't think the Bucks are gonna cut it for him soon. I think he is actually gonna jump ship because he wants to win. And you know, organizations, not all the time they're about winning, they're about making money. I've seen he's making some nice investments, investing in golf.
Yeah,
Zach,
LA.
You seen that? LA Golf? I don't know. Next up, we have the Lakers. The Lakers have made some awesome off-season trades. And I just think looking at this roster right now, they could go pretty far in the postseason. Jesse, what do you think about their roster?
You know, I like their roster. Do I think they're gonna go far in the postseason? Maybe second round, just because I feel like as LeBron gets older, I mean, clearly last year he got injured a lot, and I personally think that's gonna happen again. And you know, I just feel like the Lakers are so injury prone that I don't see them going far. But I pray it doesn't happen, but that's.
Jeff, I mean, do you agree with that? I don't know, injury prone?
I echo that. I do think they have a lot of backup players that could be a star player like how Austin Reeves was last year. They have a lot of people that really step up. The issue is that I don't think they have a great coaching staff building around star players and players that are good like Anthony Davis and LeBron when they're not hurt. But I don't know if they're like Golden State Warriors building up like new players like
Yeah, that was really
that was a bad take. Okay,
yeah,
fair. I'll take a bad take.
Yeah, Zach,
Man, honestly, I'm gonna have to disagree. Here are my reasons. We got LeBron James and AD, two of the highest paid players in the league right now on the same team. Your next third highest and fourth highest on that team is D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura.
spitting.
Now let's look at the Nuggets. Their two highest, you already know who they are. After that, You have Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. I'm putting those two up against the second or the third and the fourth on the Lakers any day. All right? That's my opinion. And I think after that, there doesn't really leave. LeBron's getting like almost 50 million. AD's getting over 40 million. Doesn't really leave a lot of room because you got Jokic getting almost 50, but then you have Murray, he's only getting 33. That's 7 million that can go to another player. And then after that, it's pretty much even. But I just feel like they're not, I mean, they made some decent moves, but I don't think it's enough to push any type of agenda that LeBron is known for. But I don't know, maybe he has something going on. I know he's doing a lot of, he invested in a production company. He is in Hollywood. He's already done a full feature movie. And then I think, he does want to play, he said with Bronny, but now he said he wants to play with both sons. And then obviously the health stuff with Bronny, but I think...
Listen, Zach, I've heard enough. The Lakers, for me, guys, I'm on the opposite end of y'all. I think they're gonna go all the way. I think Austin Reeves is coming out of the World Cup with a gold medal. This confidence is going to be through the roof. And playing with that energy, I mean, he is the spark on the Lakers. LeBron, if he stays healthy, AD, God forbid. I think those three alone can take you very far in the West. Now, championship, debatable. The East is looking a little scary. Move on to some real beef. Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis. Now, I have to say, I wasn't really following too much into this influencer boxing, but these two specifically caught my eye. And one of these guys, Dylan Dennis, I mean, this guy has a new picture of Logan Paul's fiance, I believe, every single day. How do you feel about that, Jeff? Do you think that's cool? Like, what's going on there? I don't know if I agree with that.
I understand both sides. I think it's kind of like messed up of him to attack somebody specifically when they're not a part of the whole situation. But the best promotion I've ever seen for a fight, I think KSI versus Tommy Fury was the main event at first, but now it's like the main event is really Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis, right?
Yes.
The issue with that is Dylan Dennis is really getting into Logan Paul's head. So even though that he's the favorite to the fight right now, he might come out with emotions. But both ways, Dylan Dennis already said, I'm in his head. So Logan Paul might come back and just be very zoned in and actually take the fight. So
Zach, how do you feel?
I really don't feel like it's affecting Logan as much as what people think. Dylan Dennis is a troll. Logan Paul grew up with a troll. I think he knows how to take somebody messing with him all the time. I think he's a level-headed person. I don't think he does anything on accident. His whole career has been meticulously planned. Couple mishaps here and there, but he always comes back. And that's not by accident. I still think that the KSI and Tommy Fury fight is going to be just as crazy. I just feel like there's not as much beef around it because KSI is taking it more serious. Obviously, Tommy Fury is a real boxer. It's entertaining at the end of the day, absolutely. Is it going to be like a crazy fight? I'm not sure. We'll have to watch.
Jesse, I mean, how do you feel about this situation?
I think Dylan's going too far because, it's about Logan, but just constantly harassing his wife. But at the same time, in terms of interest, it's at an all-time high for me. Just seeing the beef, and then also, what I think it's doing to Logan, I think he's training harder, but I also feel like it would affect him because that's his wife, and if it's affecting his wife, then it's gonna affect him. So I think in that aspect, I think Dylan's probably in his head. But obviously, I don't know. Logan's been through a lot, probably worse than this.
She knows what she signed up for.
So yeah.
I hope Logan knew what he.
Yeah, I think it's it's
Logan
a
knew exactly what he signed
and then
up for.
also.
But let me ask you guys this: do you think he the shit that I've seen, the clips that I've seen? I almost feel like Logan wasn't even aware that she has said the shit.
I agree with you. And even if he was not aware, he would lie and say he already knew it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot of pictures.
There's a lot.
Well, the pictures,
The videos are the worst.
I don't think
Especially
the pictures.
that last one.
I think the videos is where I'm like, okay, listen, let's have a discussion.
People
What's
are
going on
did someone do a
But
background check?
I think my final statement, I think Dylan Dennis is a bitch. He never showed up for the last fight.
Facts.
Ooh.
Facts.
He's always just been a bitch for the last couple of years.
Ooh,
so we'll see if he even
bitch.
shows
Wow.
up.
He's
Okay.
all talk, yeah. And then, I think it's affecting Logan Paul a lot too,
Jeff,
because of the
we're
whole.
moving on.
Oh man,
We're moving on.
trying to get extra points.
Speaking of trolls, FouseyTube. Now, this guy, he recently swatted himself on live stream and now has been checked in reports have said he has checked into a mental hospital. So I hope he's doing well, getting the help that he needs. But just seeing what's going on, I'm a little afraid, but more entertained. How do you guys feel, Jesse? We'll start with you on FouseyTube, this whole drama, and how do you feel about his, facade?
I feel like, because he's doing 24/7 every day, and he's not just doing that, like in a bedroom, he's out in public, so I feel like what it's doing to his mental health, which probably already isn't in the best spot, because after the Deji fight, like he said, everything was downhill. I feel like that's the worst thing you could do for your mental health possible. And yeah, I think it's probably good that he's in the mental hospital. I don't know how those things operate or if they're really good or bad, but I think he should lay low for a while.
Jeff?
Yeah, I agree. I think everything gets really exemplified when he's in the situation he's in. And also, too, it doesn't help that when he does something that's crazy and out of the ordinary, he gets so much attention from it. So it's more like he's in a vicious cycle. So it's like...
Do you think it's calculated? Do you think he does this on purpose, or that's just like a natural instinct for him to be...
Great question. Yeah.
What he's...
At first, I thought it was like very calculated because he's a great attention getter. But now, seeing so many clips of him being kind of uncontrollable, and also to doing things that would be even quote unquote illegal. Like he wouldn't, if he was really calculated, he wouldn't do illegal things that kind of jeopardize his career and himself in general. So I think it was at first calculated, but now it's gotten out of control and it's become a part of him.
Zach?
I kind of have a different take on it. I think in the beginning it was super calculated because nobody gets slapped by a stripper in a car accident and says the hard R all in the same day. That just doesn't happen. He knows what he's doing. He knows how the YouTube game works. He's been YouTube Creator of the Year. He knows how the internet works. This is how I feel. I don't like it because he is known to be a fragile person mentally. And I feel like with people giving him all this attention and he's back in the spotlight, it's really taking a toll on him. And I mean, he's a good troll. He knows how to entertain, but at the end of the day, your mental health is most important. And I just feel like he got desperate to the point where he even said he couldn't afford a therapist. And he got desperate. He was like, how can I get my way back into the internet? How can I, because he severed a lot of ties, burned a lot of bridges after that Deji stuff and right before it. So I think he needs to get help, and I feel like we need to stop glorifying what he's doing.
I agree. I mean, I'm kind of on Zach's point there where I think it was calculated, which is what scares me to the extent of like, it's almost like he has an addictive personality. So I think he was addicted to trying to stir up clicks, views, be the guy that everybody either hates. Then the next day he wants to be everybody's lover. Then the next day he's like the villain. So I think that's where he's just a little unstable for me, and it's unhealthy and scary because like I just think live streaming every single day, you're bound to do some dumb shit.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be calculated if you're live 24/7 because you're always in the moment.
Yeah, it's like it's hard. It's hard to do that. But that being said, where do you guys see the future of live streaming? Do you guys think it's grown? Do you think it's kind of slowed down? Do you think it's going to expand over time? Or do you think it's always going to be kind of like edited content versus like live streamed content as a creator? Jeff?
I think the barrier of entry for live streaming is a little bit tough nowadays. I think it's getting very competitive because everybody has access to great internet speed or internet speed in general, a camera, a setup, all that good stuff. And everybody wants to be a influencer YouTuber nowadays, and the easiest way is not knowing how to edit or don't have any money, you jump on streaming. So I think streaming is gonna grow in the sense of the amount of users, but I think the distance between big creators and small creators is gonna be a lot bigger. Like there's only gonna be a handful of creators that are just the top of the top. I think the way that social media is going is gonna be more towards edited if you wanna become a new creator, but if you're already established, I think streaming is amazing.
All right, and Zach?
I think streaming has definitely grown a lot over the last few years, and I kind of give Kai props for that because he brought a demographic into streaming that, I mean, a lot of dudes in the hood didn't really watch streams, you know what I'm saying? They weren't watching Twitch. And I mean, Kai brought him online, brought him to Twitch, brought him watching live streams. And I commend him for that. It was crazy. But I feel like Jeff said, it's so easy to get into. You can stream straight from your phone. You don't even need internet access. All you need is like a cell phone tower to start streaming. They've made it so easy. Anybody can jump on. But I don't know. I still feel like to be successful in streaming, you really have to put a lot of time into it. It's very time consuming. It's very lonely at times. And it's not where you can just hop on and play all day. Like, those days are over. You gotta be entertaining. You gotta have stuff going on. And I mean, you credit that to like XQC doing crazy stuff on stream, Kai having different people on stream, having rappers on stream, you know what I'm saying? Having like high profile social media personalities on stream, having tons of girls on stream. You gotta be entertaining to be at that top level. And I just feel like a lot of people don't have access to those people and a lot of other people to be entertaining like that, so.
Jesse, what are your thoughts on the future of live streaming?
Yeah, I think the future of live streaming is just gonna get more and more popular every year, because every year more people come on technology. And for example, like TikTok Live, like the NPC trend, bro, like anybody can do that, and so many people are doing that. And like, if you ever watch like the TikTok live streams, you'll see so many people in other countries streaming. And I think too, streaming is gonna keep trending towards more IRL than gaming, because it kind of started as gaming, but now it becomes more and more IRL every day, because you can be like more extreme, more produced streams, like higher produced streams, like TV show level production. I think is gonna go more towards creators, just because there's gonna be companies that wanna put on big streams. So I think that's gonna happen a lot, but yeah, overall, I just see it getting like a lot bigger.
You know, one of my favorite streams right now is this Glizzy guy. I don't know if you've seen those TikToks.
Yeah, thank you for over 160 glizzies and doing Glizzy Overdrive.
The Glizzy Overdrive. It's pretty. I don't watch the whole stream. I just watch the clips. Just putting that out there. But yeah, so getting on to Jesse's point, you know, with production spending a lot of money into live streamings or maybe just YouTube videos, I'm curious, like the people at home, what they want to know, what was the most money you guys have ever spent on a video, or maybe a production you were involved in that you were aware of how much it cost? So it could have been a 2Hype video, your own video, anyone's videos. What is the most expensive you think? Zach?
I was in a Google production, and they built like 5 different sets. It was basically like a game show. They built 5 different sets. They paid for a lot of creators to come there. And I think they said it was upwards of like, I think it was 1.3 million altogether for the set building, what they paid the creators.
That's that Google money.
So that was definitely the biggest production that I've been a part of. And it's wild because I feel like if big companies are gonna do that, they need to spend the money. They have access, especially Google. You got access to all this money. That's pocket change for Google. You know what I'm saying? That's less than the CEO's salary, all right? But I feel like the big production stuff and these people spending a lot of money on videos, Mr. Beast kind of set the precedent for that, because he's spending hundreds of thousands on every single video. And it's crazy that one guy is doing the production work of like big companies like a Google or an Amazon.
Do you guys think that because Mr. Beast is spending all this money on videos, it kind of makes it harder for, you know, smaller creators to really like have a good tone or presence online?
Yes.
Jeff? Or Jesse, go ahead.
I would say I think it does if they're trying to do the Mr. Beast style and their favorite YouTuber is Mr. Beast. And because like there's so many Mr. Beast like clones, especially like smaller YouTubers that don't really try their own style. And it's like, that's the hardest person to clone on the internet. Like you're never gonna be simple. So I think in that aspect, but if you zoom out on YouTube as a whole, like the percent of people that are being like Mr. Beast style or trying to be like that is probably like 1-2% of the whole platform. So I think you get blown out of proportion.
You also can't compare yourself to somebody like that because you're not that person. Comparison is just gonna
take
leave
away
you in the
from
dust.
the joy of being a creator. Jeff, so I'm curious, what's the most expensive video you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think the most expensive videos are the ones that you don't, for us, is the ones we do travel and it's not sponsored. And on top of that, I think it's like...
So you fly first class, is that what you're saying?
I don't fly first class.
Oh, okay.
It's just being able to fly everybody. Like let's say you have a team of, for me especially, to realize like you gotta fly 4 people out, get hotels for them. And then on top of that, you got salaries. So if you equate salaries for those times for the people that are not with you, you still gotta pay them, then they might not be doing anything specific that, because then there's nothing for them to do. And you add all that up, and then on top of that, you gotta There's one time where we're planning to shoot 2 videos, right? So if you expend the video, you divide it by 2, it's a lot cheaper, right? So let's say you spend 10,000, you shoot 2 videos, 5,000 a video. But now one of the videos ended up canceling, but you're already out there, so it's one video that costs 10,000.
That happened to you?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's an unfortunate situation, but then it's like this video really has to do very well for it to make its money back. So I want to say, like, maybe for that one video in total, maybe like 8,000, 8 to 10,000. That was probably the most expensive.
That was very expensive. Jesse.
Yeah, in terms of video I've been a part of that's like a big production, it's hard to say because there've been in ones that are like have a big prize pool, like 100,000 and stuff. But so I'm not sure for something I've been a part of, but for my channel, I did a video $60,000 versus $1,000 Christmas decorations.
Oh yes,
60. Oh
And
yeah,
the video
you did
not
spin.
perform well for me compared to my other videos. So
I'm gonna just give you a point for just spending $50,000 on Christmas
60,000.
lights.
Well, I just love Christmas, so part of it was I had it for my Christmas, but it was for the video at the end of the day, so that was probably the most expensive video, and it definitely
How
did
much
not
money
pay
do you
off.
spend on your 100 presents videos?
yeah, that's good.
Around the last 100 presents video we did, I spent 20,000 on presents.
Oh wow.
$20,000. Wow.
So that was probably
Yeah, this year I think it will be like 25,000.
Okay, I like that because I'm gonna be there. All right, let's go back to sports. What is the most entertaining sport to
Oh,
you guys? Zach?
Basketball by far.
Okay.
It's constant entertainment, constant energy. There's passing, there's shooting. There's no other sport that really scores like basketball. In the rapid succession that basketball scores. Plus you have some of the most freak athletes in basketball. Obviously, there's some football players that are freak athletes too, but there's also some like hefty football players that wouldn't do anything on a basketball court. But I feel like you could take pretty much anybody that's on a basketball court and plant them in football and they would find a spot on a team.
I don't know about Jesser when you say that. I don't know if
Well, I
Jesser-
mean like NBA players.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like basketball players in general.
No, I'm talking
thinking
NBA.
like-
I'm talking NBA. But also I feel like the NBA has a lot of history. Obviously, we play basketball, so I could be biased, but I've also played a lot of other sports, and I feel like if you ask a girl what their
Zach, let's
favorite
be honest, we're very biased.
we're super biased, but I mean, even if you ask like our wives, what's your favorite sport? They're gonna say basketball because it's the most entertaining. A lot of other females, you ask them, they're gonna say basketball because it's the most entertaining. A lot of kids, what's your favorite sport? Basketball, most entertaining.
You know, I just thought of something. Which sport do you think girls get flown out the most to?
I mean, it's easier to hide them in a football stadium.
Yeah, I feel like football's got a big roster, you know?
Football does have a big roster.
But they got a big roster of females too.
Oh no. I feel like, hey, you know what? I feel like it might be soccer.
Soccer.
So I've been to so many NBA games. I've been to pretty much every type of sport at this point. And if you count esport as a sport, I would say that is the most entertaining. Because I recently went to Valorant Champs, and the reason I think it's more
I like it's
entertaining
different.
than a basketball game is because if you think about it, like a game of Valorant, it's every round 5v5. Every round is intense. Like there's 2 players left, 1 player left, planting the bomb, bro, and every round is like, oh my God. But then I go to a basketball game and bro, half the time it's a blowout, and esports is always super close to rounds at least.
Yeah.
For the most part, when my girlfriend watches basketball, she doesn't watch until halfway through the 4th quarter.
It's a good, I think you're spitting right here.
Basketball, if you're not counting esports, in my opinion, is the most entertaining.
When you mentioned like just watching too and blowouts, like I feel like college sports then you have to think about because college basketball, college football I know is probably fun as fuck to go to. Although
if you tailgate.
yeah, but
It
that's
sure
the thing
is.
too. It's like I don't know if it's just like lit because you go with the boys, get drinks, tailgate, like all that. But
I have a different take, but obviously basketball is one of the more common ones that I've been to and enjoyable.
Okay.
But I think basketball is cool because it's more accessible before I say the sport, and majority of people can go to the basketball game even if you can't afford it because you can get a ticket. And as you go, each level is pretty enjoying. But
you've definitely experienced every level. I know that.
Yes. My favorite sport to watch is tennis, only because
Tennis?
the way tennis is built is very interesting. Because basketball, you play 5v5, right?
Yeah.
And let alone you have the bench, and tennis is 1v1, so you can really have the number 1 versus the number 2. Right, so you have, it's like basically putting like 1v1, like if LeBron were to play Giannis, but it's actually cultivated where it's not just like, oh, they're playing 1v1. It's like the best of the best. Like the best NBA team, you're gonna be like, oh, he had, Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, blah, 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 this and that on that team, like a super team. Versus tennis is like, you're playing number 1 versus number 2, and you guys are going head to head. Also, too, every point is engaging, right? So the way that tennis works is that everybody's absolutely silent. It's not like, oh, we're watching this, we're grabbing food. Like if you step out, you
asleep.
step out. Fair. I guess.
There could be two,
Yeah, there could be
debates
two
there,
ways.
like either like they're sleeping or like
Yeah.
it's just the old people rule where it's
Yeah.
like shut the fuck up or you're getting kicked out. So it's like the tennis etiquette
is
very up there.
up there.
Every
Yeah,
possession matters more than other sports.
Yes, exactly. The cool thing about it is that it's not just one time a year, right? There's 4 Grand Slams, right? And there's 4
wow.
Grand Slams,
Jeff.
basically U.S. Open, Australian Open, the Wimbledon, and then everything is built up for it. There's many ones in it, but let's say the number one, which is amazing right now, we got Djokovic, right? Djokovic right now is the number 2. And they got Alcatraz, which is a 20-year-old. He's number 1.
wow, dude, this
right?
guy's
so
spitting.
he's the number 1 in the world at 20-year-olds, and Djokovic is 36. So he's 36 years old, and they're battling, right? Nadal, which used to have the most championships ever, which is 22. Right? 20.
Well, you can get 4 a year, right?
20 Grand Slams over his career. He started at the same time as Nadal and Roger Federer, right?
Okay.
So then now, and Djokovic was the same time. Now Djokovic has over like 24 or 25, and he's at the top of his career.
This dude could be one lion and we have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I know he's truthing.
If we're gonna say the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, then we have to talk about golf. Golf has 4 majors every year.
Yeah, exactly.
But golf
Golf is
plays
so
every
boring.
single weekend. You have the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're playing 4 days in a row.
I agree.
All day long.
I agree.
Guys, you're putting me to sleep with these sports, with the golf and tennis. Let's just move back to NBA. All right, favorite NBA moment in history. It could be any moment in history. We'll start with Zach. Your favorite moment in NBA history. Just you, like talk about as detailed as you can. Let me hear.
So I'm in Delaware. I was doing electrical engineering still. Get back from a long day of work. I'm on the East Coast.
Hardworking man.
Just put in like 12, 13 hours. My favorite player ever, Kobe Bryant. It's his last game. It's his retirement game. Everybody knows he's done after this game. They're not making playoffs. This is last regular season. My man puts up 60 points in a game winner and just basically solidifies his career as a scorer. Gives an amazing speech at the end. Mamba out. I mean, that's a quote that's gonna ring in my ears forever. I woke up early before work the next day. I watched the last 2 quarters again. I think ESPN replayed that game like 20, 30 times in the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful seeing everybody on the sidelines, all his former teammates, Shaq, telling him he better give him 50, and then he gives him 60 and a game winner. I just feel like nobody's ever went out like that. And it was just, that was one of my favorite sports moments altogether, outside of NBA or whatever.
Sports in general.
Sports in general is one of my favorite sports.
I have to agree. That is up there, Jeff.
I think for me it was when the Lakers versus Celtics with Paul Gasol, and when they won their championship that year.
Which year?
It was an amazing year. It was 2008.
Oh, 2008?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2008
All right.
year.
Yeah.
I think it was awesome because it was like the community built, especially amongst Asians. Like Asians, specifically Vietnamese and also Filipinos, they can relate to this. Every Laker game, especially during that era, even before with Shaq, it would be a family gathering, right?
Oh.
And it would be a great, like you got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. When Lakers was on versus Celtics during the finals, every family gathered. It was either that or the Manny Pacquiao fight for Filipinos. Like you always see them gather together. It was
I
the
did
same
have some
vibe.
Filipino friends, and that is
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah, and I think it's like one in a great way because you remember not like just the moment, but how you felt about the Lakers and Kobe, but everybody that was around you. You kind of remember like, you know, your cousin, your friend, even your friends were a part of your family that were not Asian, and you just brought them in. Like you, Chris, like you had a Filipino friend.
I did.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I think that was.
I did have it. I mean, I just, like, I did. Thank you. I did.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Jesse, let me. What's your most memorable NBA moment?
Dude, so it started upstairs from where we're at. I get a phone call. Like, what up, Bill? Bill's like,
Bill.
my
Okay,
boy
I
Bill.
already
You know
like where
Bill,
this is
bro,
heading.
good friend of ours.
Yes.
You love
yes.
Bill?
I love Bill.
He's like, you're playing in the NBA celebrity game.
Oh,
I
wow.
start crying.
Oh, wow.
Instantly, bro. This is a dream come true. Then I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I'm taking full advantage for this. I train for it. I go to Utah. I got 10 shoes for the players. You know, I give LeBron some shoes. The GOAT. Trying to get some points here.
He's just naming people to try to get points, bro.
Giannis, bro.
Yeah,
Giannis, bro.
okay.
Give him some
Giannis.
shoes, bro. Bro, when I see him, bro, he comes in, he's like 21. My teammate, 21 Savage.
Oh.
He says,
Wow.
"Can you do something for me?" It was so funny. And then we get to the game, bro. It's the most surreal moment. You know, people are chanting. The boys were there.
The boys.
Oh my God.
Chris was watching at home with the baby.
I was.
And, you know, it was surreal, bro, because Giannis was my coach, and he literally put his arm around me, and I was like, Giannis, you need to put me in the game because they weren't playing me. I was like, I'm a hustle, I'm a rebound.
Didn't you foul out?
I fouled out. First ever player to foul out of the celebrity game. Thank you.
Wow.
Scored an and one on Albert Pujols, and just overall,
That's
it was a
legendary.
blessing, and it was a dream come true.
Name some other
That
players.
is crazy, guys. Listen,
I did a jersey swap with Simu,
I've heard enough. That was a great moment, Jesse.
but then we didn't actually swap. We just did it for the picture.
So I actually was just mindlessly. You did what?
we did
fake
like
swap.
a fake jersey swap picture.
With who?
Simu.
The best actor ever.
Oh yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Shang-Chi. Yeah, he was cool. Guys, that was a great talk. Great around the room. Great first episode. If you guys want more of these, make sure you give this a thumbs up, subscribe. Now let's get to these points tallies. Now I was mindlessly just, hitting the beep. I don't know how many points there actually is, so we're gonna count it up right now. Jeff, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26
Damn.
for Jeff.
That's a lot.
Thank you guys.
For Zach, we have decided by 2 points
Uh-oh. It's probably the LeBron
between
and Giannis that you
Zach
named.
and Jesse. With 33 points, the best talker of today's episode, Around the Room. Jesse with 33 points. I like what
Good
you
job,
had to
Jesse.
say today.
Thank you,
I hope
guys.
you guys at home did. Zach, Jeff, Jesse, thank you for coming on the show today. Hope to see you guys again soon. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you guys go watch my last video. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Peace.